Welcome to the Dose of Good podcast, where we celebrate good people and organizations working to make the world a better place. It can be easy to get caught up in the bad things going on in the world and forget about the good happening all around us each and every day. I'm your host, Erin, and I want to share these stories with you and give them the attention they deserve. I hope this podcast educates and inspires you and maybe even motivates you to share a dose of good in your community. Now let's get into today's episode. Today's episode is a little bit of an emotional one, but I hope that you will take the time to listen and hopefully support this amazing organization. Today I'm talking about the Viviana Leon Memorial Fund, and I'm speaking with Sara Janes, Viviana's aunt. And this organization was started in her memory when she died from SIDS, and her parents turned that horrible time in their life into something positive and work to help other either grieving families who've lost a child, families who have a child with an illness and maybe need a little bit of support. And yeah, they're incredible people doing amazing things, and I hope that you will listen and check them out and see if you can get involved. Today I'm here with Sara Janes, board member for the Viviana Leon Memorial Fund. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
What is the mission of the Viviana Leon Memorial Fund, and how did it get started?
The mission of the Viviana Leon Memorial Fund is to help other families who have either children that are going through some medical challenges and help them financially, or to help grieving families who have lost a child. We have been working with funeral homes to cover some expenses of a funeral for their child. And what was the second question?
Just kind of how it got
started.
Yeah.
So my sister, who is my younger sister, my brother-in-law, lost their daughter to SIDS at 3 months old back in 2012. And it was, so unexpected, right? We hear about these stories, but we don't ever expect it to happen to either yourself or anyone that you know,
Sure,
that you're very close to. And out of that terrible tragedy, my sister and brother-in-law and some family and friends started the Viviana Leon Memorial Foundation in order to help other grieving families. With the pain and the tragedy that they were feeling, they decided to have a purpose for it.
And what is the decision process like when it comes to helping grieving families or those with sick children? Is there a certain way you go about deciding who you'll help or that kind of thing?
So we have board members that will vet people, and for the most part, people reach out to us.
Okay.
And then once they reach out to us, or it'll be a friend of the family, right? It's not often the direct family members who are grieving or going through a challenge. It's someone that knows them that will reach out to us. And then we have some board members that vet them and make sure that it's a solid ask. And then we do a board vote. So we vote on every single donation that is made.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And is there, I guess, a limit to, say, the number of families you can help, or is it just kind of on an as-need basis? You kind of decide what?
It's an as-need basis.
Okay.
It's also as we have funding. We have been really good about our funding. I will say during COVID, like most nonprofits, the funding was a lot lower than expected. That was the 1 year we were not able to have our one soccer tournament, which is our one fundraiser of the year. Mm-hmm. With that being said, things fell in place, and we never turned a family away. We were getting concerned, and then monies came in, and we were able to help.
Oh, good. I'm
Yes.
happy to hear that.
Yes.
As far as those needing assistance, how have they learned about your services? Has it been word of mouth? Do you promote anywhere or?
It is mostly word of mouth. I have also spoken at the Elliott with a very large group of nurses for one of their CE courses. I have also spoken to, I don't know if you've heard of 100 Women Who Care. I've spoken to many of their meetings. And 100 Women Who Care is a group of women who get together and write a blank check for $100. And if you're a member, you get to nominate a nonprofit. And so a few days before, we meet quarterly, and a few days before the meeting, we will pull 3 names out of the fishbowl of the 3 nonprofits that will be able to present. They have 10 minutes to present. And then right that evening, we decide we vote. Every member gets to vote which nonprofit that they want to nominate for the donation, and the 2 that do not get nominated, that don't get the most votes, get $1,000 each, and the organization that got the most votes gets the remainder of the donations. And so we have been trying to be at least 100, and I believe since COVID we're over 150 members for the chapter, the Southern New Hampshire chapter. So they give over $15,000.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've never heard of that organization, and it sounds like they're doing great things. Is it a nonprofit in itself, or is it just a group of women that kind of work together? And
so it's not a nonprofit. It is a networking event.
Okay.
And / a way to give.
Sure, yeah.
And what has happened is there are so many organizations and so many women from organizations that attend that event that has probably been one of the bigger ways to get the Viviana Foundation Memorial Fund out there.
Yeah, it sounds like a great group. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. And you mentioned briefly the soccer tournament fundraiser. Am I correct that this is the 11th year? That's incredible. So can you tell us a little bit more about that, how it works, maybe how people could get involved if they're interested?
Yes, so we do one soccer tournament a year. We have this wonderful gentleman, Tommy, that has coordinated this amazing, does the scheduling and all that. It's 10 teams with 10 players, and it's done at the Boys and Girls Club of Derry.
Okay.
And they let us use their fields. We set it up for 3 different fields, and each team gets to play at least 3 games, and then we go into playoffs and finals. It's really exciting. It's all in one day. And the players are expected to either raise or fund at least $100 per player.
Okay.
And that way, that's how we fundraise that day. This soccer tournament has become way more than we ever thought it would be. We have as many people coming to watch the games as there are participants, and the support has been tremendous. It's always on the anniversary, the weekend closest to the anniversary of Viviana's death in end of June. She died on June 28th. So whatever weekend is closest to that. So I believe this year the Saturday is the 28th.
Oh, okay.
So it will be on the day of the anniversary of her death.
Okay.
And it has been amazing. We have lots of support. We've had restaurants donate food. We have Coca-Cola who donates drinks. So most of the cost of the event has been sponsored or donated. We have very, very, very little expenses. I believe the only expense we have is the liability insurance, because that needs to come out of our funds.
Okay.
So all the funds that we raise that day is given to families.
Wow, that's
Most
amazing.
of it, yes.
And if people is it still open if people want to sign up to take part in the tournament?
Yes.
And how do they go about doing that?
They can reach out to the Eddie Leon is Viviana's dad.
Okay.
And he is the one who puts all the teams together and for the players. So you can email him, and
Okay.
I would have to look up his email address.
That's okay. If you want, I can get it from you afterward and put it in the show notes so everybody will have access
That would
to
be
the
great.
email. Okay.
That would be great.
That sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like a really great event, and I'm glad that it's been so successful for you, and I
Yes.
hope that continues.
Yes. The tournament has become a day where family and friends can support my sister and brother-in-law and their 3 kids. They have 3 boys.
Okay.
And it has become an amazing day.
That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about as far as the Memorial Fund or anything with this organization?
Yeah, I mean, the organization is comprised of just amazing board members who really want to impact other families after you've seen friends or a family member go through what they went through and are still going through, right? That never ends. The
Sure.
grief never ends.
Yeah.
And so just just being able to give and to contribute through this organization has, whenever we give to a family, one of the board members will often mention, like, here, Viviana is continuing to spread her angel wings, right?
Yeah.
This angel just keeps helping others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your teary eyes are making me teary.
I'm sorry. I'm an emotional person. So.
It's all good. So at the end of the day, I mean, the secret to a good life and to real joy is being able to contribute. And the Viviana Foundation contributes in such large ways.
Yeah.
It's a small organization and with a big impact, right? There's so many family members that when you lose a child or you have a child going through some extreme medical challenges, sometimes both parents can't work, or at least one parent can't work, or, I mean, that's with medical challenges, and they don't know how they're going to make the mortgage payment. This just came on, something just came about.
Sure.
That was so unexpected, and they were not prepared financially for it. And so being able to make that mortgage payment when parents are driving in and out of Boston to just make sure that their child stays alive.
Yeah.
Or with grieving parents. I mean, it's the tragedy is so hard and it's so emotional. And then to add a financial burden of a funeral, and funerals are not inexpensive.
Yeah.
So it's really small organization with a big impact, and being able to contribute and to be able to fundraise for such a phenomenal organization is it's wonderful.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. And my heart goes out to your sister and your brother-in-law. And I just want to thank them for taking, what is a very sad moment in their life and turning it into something positive and being able to help others. Mm-hmm. And I mean, losing someone is hard enough, but losing your child, I can't imagine that. It's got to be the hardest thing in the world. So, so yeah, it's nice that they've created this in her memory. And like you said, she's kind of spreading her angel wings and helping others. So that's incredible. Mm-hmm. Then I just have 2 final questions that I like to ask everybody. Which nonprofit do you think we should feature next?
I think 100 Women Who Care would be a great nonprofit to feature.
Yeah.
The gift in that one is you learn of a lot of other small nonprofits in the area.
Yeah.
And I've learned of so many, and part of life is being resourceful, right? And just to know when someone has a need, oh, you know what? I heard of this organization. Maybe you should reach out to them, which is how some people have reached out to the Viviana Foundation, is having my turn to speak. And, people are learning of this organization.
Yeah, I think that's great. I'll definitely reach out to them, because that's what I found through this podcast as well, is in our small state of New Hampshire, how many nonprofits there are and the amazing work that they're doing. And I learned about yours through a couple of other people that have been on the podcast. It almost feels like a little network of like nonprofits helping other nonprofits and that
Yes.
kind of thing. So,
Yes.
and then you kind of touched on this with talking about your organization, but I don't know if you have any other examples or things that come to mind of the kindest thing you've witnessed or been a part of.
So the kindest thing I've witnessed, that's a tough question.
It is,
because
yeah.
there's so many kind things I have witnessed. But one that comes to mind is, I'll try to say it without being too choked up.
Sure.
Take a deep breath. There was several years ago, there was a high school student that died of a car accident right before high school graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And we covered that funeral. And there was also a GoFundMe. So that dad came and saw Eddie and thanked him, and then wanted to pay back and make a donation back to the fund from the funds that were raised from the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And it's just, to see two dads suffering so much.
Sure.
Be so kind to each other because they understood where they were standing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's my sister. I feel a lot of pain for her, but I didn't experience it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Where here you had two dads who understood the mission and understood the grieving and understood such a great loss and really support each other. And I think we often do things or say things and we don't understand the ripple effects.
Sure.
Right. And these two dads supported each other through such a tough time. And I think we can decide to be really angry and we can decide to do something. And I know Stacy and Eddie decided to do something, and this dad as well. He could have chosen to hide in his grief, and he chose to go and visit with Eddie and just have that man-to-man, heart-to-heart.
Yeah.
Of gratitude. And gratitude is not an easy thing when you're grieving so much.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
to see the gratitude, I thought it was just so kind when I heard this.
Yeah, that is an amazing example because I don't know what would go through someone's mind at that point, but the fact that he was able to think to go and talk to Eddie, and that thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
So, and thank you so much for being here today and sharing about Viviana Leon Memorial Fund. I think it's great to get the word out there for people so more people know about it. Hopefully we'll sign up for your tournament.
Yes.
Or just donate. Is there a place they can just donate
Yes.
if they want to?
Yes, I'll give you that information.
Okay,
so yes,
perfect.
you can donate directly, as well as we're looking for sponsorships.
Oh,
so all
okay,
the sponsorships
great.
go on the t-shirts, and
Yeah.
and I know my children wear these. At this point, all four of my kids are old enough to play in the tournament, and they
Oh,
wear their
nice.
t-shirts loud and proudly all
Aw.
summer long.
That's awesome.
That has the Viviana Foundation. So yeah, each team player gets a t-shirt, and
Okay.
the sponsorship names are on there.
Okay. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully some people will check that out. And thank you so much for being here today and sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for having me. This has been wonderful.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and thank you to Sara for joining me and sharing Viviana's story and legacy, as well as that of her parents and her family. And I hope that you will check them out. Give a donation if it's possible for you. If you're local, think about participating in the soccer tournament that's coming up in June. And yeah, help support this very worthy and important organization. And if you aren't already subscribed to the podcast, please do so. And also subscribe on YouTube so that you never miss an episode. If you could leave a rating and review where you listen to podcasts, that also helps. And just share it with those that you know so that they can get a dose of good in their day as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon with another episode.